Hey guys, it's Maggie and I am back today. If you saw last week's video, I think on Monday, I posted my first video talking about trying to conceive with an ostomy and my proctocolectomy surgery, which just means that I have had my colon, rectum, and anus removed. I know I have a very glamorous life that I share on the internet here, but I started that conversation with you guys and I was very nervous to do so. But I did start to talk about it. So if you haven't seen that video, I will link it somewhere above my head. But this video is going to talk about the next 6 months of trying to conceive. First of all, I want to say, obviously I got some really stupid comments on that video, but I've gotten stupid comments on all of my videos. When you talk about your life, it opens it up for other people to comment, and that's just how it is, and that's fine. But I got overwhelming support, and there were so many of you who reached out that have had nearly identical procedures, that have gone on to have children in a variety of ways. And it was so encouraging to me. So many people reached out on Instagram and just let me know their story, and I'm still going through those messages, so if I haven't responded, just give me a minute. There were a lot, but that's one of the main reasons I shared the video, because I was feeling very alone as Zach and I get further into the stuff that we're doing. I also want to say thank you to your support on my stores, whether it be my regular LetsTalkIBD.shop store or my new Etsy one. I finally got an Etsy store open so I can offer a little bit more variety and sizing for some stuff. Or if you became a member of this channel, or if you're just watching these videos, it's helping to support Zach and I. I know that these videos, I only cover the first 6 months in my first video, and this is going to cover the next 6 months. We are further into this than what these videos are portraying at this moment, just because I wanted it to be a little bit delayed. So I don't know, I have time to process things. Zach has time to process things, like just the two of us. And it's nerve-wracking to share this stuff on the internet, but I did want to share because, like I said, I felt alone. So I know a few people did comment, go see the fertility doctor, just talk to him, you don't have to do anything, but go talk to him. And I want you to know that we are already past that point. So we are delayed in this. I apologize, but it's just what I feel comfortable with. And yeah, so in the first video, I talked about those first 6 months that my gynecologist said, try, and if nothing happens by the 6-month mark, call me. And so that point came and went in the last video, and by 6 months I was obviously not pregnant, and I reached out to her saying, hey, nothing's happening, nothing's going on in here. So the original conversation was that, we may explore your fallopian tubes, and then when I reached out, she mentioned the word surgery. Freaked me out a little bit because, I want to be far away from surgery. I want to leave that in the past, but I understand that it can be a step in all of this, especially since I have adenomyosis. It could potentially be a problem. So she gave me the phone number for a fertility specialist, and I sat there with that phone number for a long time. And I know it probably would have been better to have just called right away and gotten things started, but it was not the choice that I made. And I talked to Zach about it, and Zach was very much like, this is up to you. I'm okay with whatever choice you make with it, which I really appreciate, because while it is the two of us, attempting to do this, kind of need his partnership in this, it is my body that would be doing a good amount of the work. And it made me nervous for what the future could have, if it would include surgery. There were a few times that I, pulled the phone number up, I looked up the doctor, did that kind of work, and I just didn't call. I was nervous. So finally, around October time, more like September, but then into October, I was like, okay, I need to start preparing for this. I want to get in that mindset. I don't want to try forever and let things potentially go inside of me. I don't know if there's a problem with my fallopian tubes, is it better to find out now before too much damage is done? You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, get yourself in the mindset, you're gonna call soon. And I was like, I've been tracking my cycles, but in October, I want to track my cycles. I want to hardcore give the fertility doctor all of the information that I possibly can prior to going to that appointment and hopefully set us off on a good foot. So I had mentioned I was using ovulation strips to track when my LH would spike, and I knew generally it was around day 16 to the 17th that it would spike, and from my research online, whatever that means, good sources online were saying between 12 and 36 hours is when you ovulate after that original spike. And I was like, well, my LH kind of stays spiked for a while, so I don't really know when during the day that's happening. So I hardcore tracked my cycle. I think I started around day 8 in my cycle, and kind of watched out for the LH to begin increasing because I could see when the lines were getting darker to the point where the test line was darker than the control line. And I was able to monitor that and see how long it stayed spiked. I don't know if it really gave me any helpful information, but it at least narrowed the window down a little bit. I decided I'm going to track this cycle hardcore and basically be able to go to the doctor and be like, listen, this is what we've done over the last year. Obviously, I haven't done it quite to this extent with the LH strips, but I generally know when my LH, spikes or peaks. But this time I was like, I'm going to do it very often so that way I can see everything and be able to give it to the fertility doctor. And I will hope that this maybe does something. I don't think it will. But we tried. So I will take a pregnancy test in 9 or 10 days. Probably closer to 9 because I won't be able to wait. But I will take a test and we'll see. Highly doubt there will be anything there, but at least I have all of these LH strips on a piece of paper so I can give it to the doctor and be like, okay, I tried this. Try to go prepared, I guess. And I also tracked all of my symptoms in an app, and I use the Ovia app. I feel like it's been the most helpful, and it also has been helpful in tracking some of my Crohn's symptoms because it's got a whole list of symptoms that you can choose. But my cycle, I can pretty much tell when I'm ovulating without doing the strips because there is certain discharge that you have. It changes. Mine definitely changes when I'm ovulating. It matches up perfectly to the strips, and my chest starts hurting. Now, I don't have much of a chest, but it hurts like crazy about a day or two after I ovulate. So I track all of that in this app. And obviously, I had hoped that, I'm tracking really hardcore, and we did try. We actually did all the recommendations that you should do when you're trying. We did them to a T, and I had the hope that, I'm threatening to call the fertility doctor. Come on, uterus, let's go. Yeah, that didn't work so well. It was definitely frustrating because I was like, man, we did everything perfect. At least I thought so, but tried our best and nothing happened, of course. So I was like, all right, well, told myself I was gonna make that call. So I finally decided to call the fertility clinic. Trying to keep my cool here. I've been trying to call since July. It's November 10th. Oh my god, my heart is beating. Okay, I've got my insurance card, I've got my planner, and I've got my gynecologist's name and where they are. Okay, and I have the phone number. Okay, just call it.
Thank you for calling.
I was hoping to make an appointment and possibly get started. She had referred me over for trying to get pregnant for a year, and I do have some surgical complications from Crohn's disease, so call back would be so appreciated. Have a good day. Bye-bye. I had to leave a message because I called outside of normal hours, but now that I'm looking at the clock, it's 12:30, so it's probably lunchtime. That might be why. So I left a message just saying, yeah, well, you heard it. So there we go. They keep interrupting their own thing.
I hear it.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah, leave a message.
They just gave up and they're like, we're busy. Okay, call number 2, not successful. Hopefully call number 3 is
Third time's a charm.
how we get the appointment. And I did have a little bit of trouble getting through to the clinic, and it was kind of discouraging me. I'm like, is this the world telling me not to make this appointment? But I did finally get through. Hi, this is she. Yeah, this is. So I would say probably over a year at this point. I have been seeing my gynecologist for a while. I have Crohn's disease and have had a number of abdominal surgeries, including colon and rectum removal, which impacts fertility from my understanding. So I've been keeping her up to date, and she wanted me to reach out at the 6-month point of trying because my cycles are regular. I've been tracking with ovulation strips and nothing's happened. So she's a little bit worried that there's scar tissue like around the fallopian tube. So next Monday works great. You said 3 p.m.? Yeah, that would work. Okay. So appointment on Monday. You hear that?
Next Wednesday. Got it.
Monday at 3.
Wednesday at 6.
And it is a virtual appointment, so.
Oh, that's easy.
I was really thinking they were gonna say, yeah, so next year we'll see you. Okay, here we go. So yes, I got the fertility appointment scheduled. I was honestly shocked because I figured, okay, I'm gonna call to make this appointment and they're gonna tell me that they're booked out for months or something like that. And no, they scheduled the appointment within like 4 days of when I called. So in that last clip, Zach was actually sitting behind me and he was on the couch. And I like turned to him and I was like, oh my God, they wanna like make this appointment kind of soon. So I had really high hopes going into this appointment. I was excited to see if it was even possible for me to carry a pregnancy, see if things are normal with me and all the different aspects with reproductive health that you can be normal or abnormal. I had talked to my surgeon, the one who did my proctocolectomy, about this. I had also seen the pelvic floor therapist like I had mentioned in the previous video. And one of the things that was a little bit concerning with me after my surgeries, actually not so much with the proctocolectomy, but my original ostomy surgery, because that was done as an emergency surgery, they had to cut me open. They did a big midline incision. And when I saw the pelvic floor therapist, she is a physical therapist first, so she actually examined my whole body, and she said she was actually surprised with my abdominal strength. With pregnancy, obviously your belly expands, and there is something called diastasis recti, where your muscles kind of split apart. I don't know a lot about it, just because I've never been there before, but there was concern that I would be at a higher risk because of that. But she was surprised by my abdominal strength and tone. She said she kind of expected it to be a bit weaker because I've had that big incision down my belly, but you know, I can feel abs there, like I can feel them working, and I've also been very protective of my belly. I don't, like when I first got my surgery, I don't know if it was just a feeling. I wasn't aware of hernias or anything like that. I had no idea about any of that until later on in life. But I was always very protective of my belly, so like if I sneezed, if I coughed, I would always hold my stomach. And sometimes I still do it, but I don't really feel the need to do it now. Like I always felt a little uneasy with my stomach, but that over time has gone away, and I feel like my muscles are holding everything in where it should be. If you have abdominal surgery and have incisions, those are openings in the muscle, and so your intestine can actually poke through those holes, and that's a hernia. So I've never had that, knock on wood. It feels like my belly has a lot of strength to it. I don't work out my belly super often, but I guess I do use my abdominal muscles a decent amount without thinking about it. She said that binders might be helpful to me. I don't think that would be during pregnancy, but potentially afterwards to kind of hold everything in, which is, I think, pretty typical. I think people without ostomies or any abdominal surgery use that. And looking online, the only changes that I have ever seen people talk about with their bellies and having a stoma is that their stoma grows in size. So you might have to change what appliance you're using, but that's kind of what I've seen people complain about the most. So yes, that's where we are. After a year of trying with tracking, I finally made the fertility appointment, which I think is what people are generally recommended. People who have not had the stuff that I've had, they usually say try for a year and then go see a fertility specialist. We tried for a year with tracking, and before that there was no prevention. So I don't know if that counts towards the length of time trying, but it was at least a year of tracking and trying, and now we're just a little bit over that year. In the next video, whenever I decide to post that, I kind of wait for reactions, and I'm just trying to be careful, and I hope you understand that. But that video will cover Zach's and my first fertility appointment with our doctors. Yes. Thank you so much for your support. I can already tell, like, talking in this video, I'm more comfortable talking about it. In the first video, I was very tearful, and I think it's just, the more you talk about something, the more comfortable you get talking about it. And since I've made that video, a few more people know in real life that we're doing this. I posted something on my Facebook. I saw a kind of like a diagram of your anatomy when you don't have a colon and you get pregnant. So I shared that, and my best friend texted me and she's like, "Do you have something to tell me?" And I was like, "No, I don't." Well, I do. I was like, "Actually, we're seeing a fertility specialist now, but nothing to report yet." So she was like, good, okay, well, keep me updated because I'm excited to have a baby Zaggy. That's what she called it. Zach and Maggie. We have a few people that call us Zaggy, which is weird, but that's what she said. So we've had support from friends and stuff, and I like literally told, I think I told 3 people prior to posting that video, and that was a girlfriend of mine, my sister-in-law, and I just told my dad like right before I posted that video. So yeah. now more people know. But that's okay. It's good to talk about it. So, alright guys, thank you for watching this. Thank you for your support, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.